you believe that it is 2023? I'm just a little bit mind blown about it. How about you, Amy?
Yeah, I'm not quite ready, as you can tell. We still have our trees up and like it's all happening so fast.
Yes, at the speed of light, it feels like. But this kickoff to the new year has become a annual tradition for us, and we always talk about things moving forward, what goals are in our minds, what our word of the year is going to be, and just kind of a forecast of our vision for the new year. And so we thought, you guys have been loving this. We enjoy just being able to visit with each other and kind of work as sounding boards for each other. So we're going to continue it. Amy, have you had some time to think about what your word of 2023 is going to be?
I have, and I'm pretty excited about it. However, Harmony has been so good to me that she is not going too far away. I'm going to keep Harmony always and forever in my mind. It has just been on the bad days I can remember, it's all about harmony. But if you've been with us for a while, you may also know that I've been going through a lot in my marriage. We are in a very good place, which is so wonderful because 6 months ago, it didn't feel so good. But with that being said, my new word kind of birthed out of it, and we will be hitting, is it 25 years or 26? Okay, do some quick math for me. I got married in 1998 and it's 2003. So it would be 25? Is it 25 years I've been married?
I believe that's 25, but you are not talking to a mathematician or a quick mather. So
well, I'm also still getting used to
still sitting back there.
I'm still getting used to 2023. That's so
it feels like 1998 was just a couple years ago. So
right?
To say that it was 25 feels a little bizarre.
Well, to say that 1980 was 50 years ago. Was it 50? No, see, 30. Wait. 1980. No, 40. It was 40 years. Do we need to start over? You guys, this is us.
Us in all of our glory. Here we are.
Yeah, okay. So my word is renew. And I just feel like Garrett and I are ready to renew everything. So it feels right. I can't wait to renew, just life with my kids. It also feels, my son's getting married, so they're starting their life, and renewal, all of the things, and Harmony's kicking there right there with it. So it feels exciting and fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Well, that kind of goes hand in hand with my word of the year because my word is flourish. And when I looked that up, so I've been having a little bit of I don't know, there's been a lot of things going on. And so I've just been wondering if I was even going to come up with a word. And it seems like I think about it and I ponder it and I pray about it. And then the word just bubbles up. So flourish came to me. It felt right. I thought I should go look up the definition because I knew kind of in my mind what I was thinking. But here's the definition: grow or develop in a healthy or vigorous way, especially as the result of a particularly favorable environment.
Wow.
That pretty much sums it up for me. That's all I need.
And you're full of vigor. Just sometimes it's piss and vinegar,
Yeah. There is a little of that.
We got to have that. Are you kidding? We wouldn't be able to do that. I love flourish for you, Rebecca.
Heaven calls it my death.
And you know what? With you building your brand new chicken coop, your brand new greenhouse, I feel that flourish really is going to be this is going to be Amy language. Monumentous. Is that an actual word?
I don't know, but it sounds good to me.
Because I just feel like you have been doing all the groundwork for so long, and now everything's pretty established for you. So I love that. So flourish, right? Flourish.
Yes, flourish. So it's going to
Love
be an
that.
incredible 2023 for both of us.
I think, you know what? I think we've had just the world in its own. I think we're getting to the point we realize that the hard and the evil and all the things is not going to go away. So how do we flourish and renew in that is, see what I did there?
I love it.
Sort of kind of going to be the magic, right? We've got to, things are all, I think when we are young and we think about adulthood, we think, okay, by your midlife, you have it all figured out. But now we're realizing no wonder why there's a term for midlife crisis, because it does get hard, and so to function in the chaos, I think, is the goal. And I can say I am so honored to have you by my side and watch how well you function in the chaos, and feel like I'm never alone in life. And that,
Well, likewise, sister, likewise. And I think our two words marry our business together really well too, because not only does this channel, all of you watching this, but then each of our personal styling businesses, we're able to connect and renew and flourish with each and every one of you. And I know that I believe that's such a great gift. You do as well, Amy. And so beyond just you and I being able to interact and connect and just really be together here, everybody that we get to come into contact with, they pour into our lives. And my prayer is that I pour into theirs as well. So
absolutely. I love that. Okay. Before we move on to 2023 though, I want to know, I think I already know, but how do you feel 2022 came to a close for you? Do you feel like you accomplished everything you needed to accomplish? I remember clear back, I think in September, we were talking about going into fall and what we wanted when we came out of fall. So that being said, do you feel like you're coming out of 2022, starting 2023? Do you feel complete? Like, do you feel like last year worked for you, or do you feel like there's some things that could have been better?
yeah, that is a fantastic question. And as you were asking, my personality is to never really feel like I'm complete or things are finished, or I'm a recovering perfectionist. Some days are better than others. And I have to say, I've released a lot of things, but I still cleave to a lot of those perfectionist tendencies. And so, am I proud of the accomplishments from 2022? Absolutely. Did I set out to do more than what I accomplished? Absolutely. Am I okay with it? Absolutely. So I feel like it was a win. It was a success. I don't know that for me, I'm not ever going to accomplish every single goal I set out for, and I'm okay with it anymore. I used to not be. It used to really get me down. I used to feel like a failure, and now I just know that I've got a lot of things I want to do. I've got a lot of expectations about myself and really of others as well. And I have to be okay with not everything happening in the way that I think it should and in the time that I would like it to happen.
Well, and you summed up perfectly what I was going to say when we're talking about goal setting, because I don't think we should truly be able to achieve all goals. I think goals need to be pliable, and they need to be attainable for sure. But also, I think sometimes we're not completely aware of what we're capable of. And then also there's times in life where we do have to take a step back. And I think that's where maturity comes in. You used to get really down on yourself, but now I think it goes back to figuring out which goals need to take the priority of our time and which goals we need to set back just a little bit. And if I look at my 2022, I would have never guessed what was going to hit me 6 months into it. And so being able to now, as I'm older, think of the goals that I set. And I haven't, if I were talking about my business goals, I guarantee you I didn't accomplish what I set forth. I honestly can't remember. It's on my vision board. But there came a point where I had to say, okay, I'm going to pause on that, and I'm okay with it, because now this thing has come into my life and it has completely changed how I feel about that goal. And sometimes they intertwine, sometimes they're kind of separate. But I can say that I too have gone on that journey. You and I have a very similar personality, where if it's about numbers and attaining things, you know, we're going to go out and we're going to figure out a way. But I do find that sometimes it's more about the numbers than actually the gratification that I would have gotten had I took a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, it used to just be all about it all the time. And I thought that's what the gratification was. But I look back now, and sometimes, and maybe it's because I'm older, but I think sometimes taking a step back and reassessing and understanding that, you know, this goal was a great idea in January, but it's okay if that goal isn't achieved, because now this is happening, and this is something that my time and attention and the balance in my life needs to go to. So you really summed that up. I loved that you talked about just the fact that you've given yourself a break, you know, I mean, and that you ended it on a happy note. I mean, if you feel satisfied, isn't that the point anyway?
Yeah. And that we're true to ourselves and to our families. I feel like, especially so as you're visiting, we each have our values, and those values dictate our priorities. And so, yes, we may have these lofty aspirations in the business realm or whichever, but if our family has needs, those are going to, they're going to power out any other business thing that we had. So I feel like as you're setting goals, it's always important to look at many different areas of your life. I do, you know, business, personal, financial, health. I look at all of those, spiritual, and kind of know where I want to direct my life based on those, but yet knowing that I'm not in control in the end. I can control myself, but I don't control the universe. Praise the Lord. It would be a chaotic universe. But yeah, just knowing when to release and pivot and be okay with, hey, I had some goals I didn't meet, but look at the progress I made in this area that I place value in over the other area. So you got to look back and just not be hard on yourself and know what you achieved.
Yeah. And I mean, gosh, you built a greenhouse. I redid Breeley's bedroom. Let's talk tangibles for just a second. Are you planning on doing any DIYs? I know you, so I know the answer, but why don't you share? Because that could be a fun little snippet. That's just a little piece of it. Tell us something that you're planning to build this season.
Okay, so 3 massive DIYs that are on the horizon for me. The first is converting our garage into a living room. The second is getting our mudroom done. I've had flooring and all the things for the mudroom for over a year now. It hasn't happened. It has to happen because it's a disaster. But getting that mudroom done, and then we have a very small house, which personally I love. It fits Kevin and I really, really good. But we have had a queen size bed for 20 years of marriage. Well, 19 and a half, because we got a king size in April.
I know.
It's been life-changing. In order for us to have a king size bed, I had to knock out our closet. And it was a very quick
And you did it in like one day, like you got the bed
oh,
and realized, oh, this isn't going to
couple
fit.
hours.
Let me just knock out a wall or two.
Yeah. So I guess this is kind of going to unfold into a two-part thing, because first of all, I've got to, it's just, it still looks exactly like it did when I knocked the closet out. There's some drywall work that needs to be done. There's some painting that needs to happen. We need a new floor in our bedroom as well. And then I don't have a closet anymore. So all of my clothes are downstairs, and I want to make that a little bit nicer for me, because we don't have a finished basement. So they're just down there on a rolling rack, and it works. I don't care. I would rather have a king size bed than my clothes up in a closet in my room.
Well, I don't think you've set enough work for yourself. I mean, on top of your flower farm and all of your animals and your cabbie business, I'm probably never going to be able to see you or talk to you if you get going. I'm going to have to just send you a little voice text and say, hello, are you there?
We may have to record our amplified life from my DIY project. Who knows?
That could be fun. That could be a good idea. I mean, and I thought I was all excited about building a chicken coop,
I can't wait for you to build a chicken coop, because
I have to say,
chickens is so wonderful.
I have to say, we haven't had chickens probably since my boys that are 22 and well, almost 23 and 20. I bet they were in elementary and middle school, like maybe 5th and 3rd grade, because we used to have some black giants that up here, we would let them free roost, like free range. And I wouldn't get the eggs because the cedar trees up here, they could hide them really, really well. And then we wouldn't find them. And so I never collected the eggs, but we loved them for the bugs and the insects. And the black giants, though, were the only thing keeping them from getting killed, because we have goshawks that will just pluck them out of a tree. I mean, they had a chicken coop, but it was like made with duct tape and twine. It was very, very redneck. And so they didn't like to roost in there. They would roost in the cedar trees. It gave them cover. And once the black giants had to go, one of them attacked my little boy. And so they're big. If those of you watching don't know what a black giant chicken is, they're like tall. And so once my husband had to get rid of them, man, those goshawks, they would just pluck them right out of the cedar trees, and they would actually get them faster than the foxes. And
Isn't it incredible?
Yeah. So we just stopped, investing in chickens for a long time. I mean, we used to have a brooder down where my fridge and freezer are, where our saddles are. And that was where we would grow these those of you that don't know how chickens come when you order them, they come via USPS in the mail, and they're teeny tiny. And the post office calls you at 5 a.m. and they say, your chickens are here. I think they call that.
You can hear them going peep, peep,
yes.
peep, peep.
And so you immediately have to be ready with your heating lamps and a brooder and all the things. And so, by the time we were ready to move them out to the coop, my fridge room would be dusty, and you'd be like, okay, it's time. Because we would get them. We never ordered them too much in February. Usually we'd wait till March just because it's snowy here. But I'm excited to get that started again. But this time it's going to be a proper coop. There will be cages, because now we have cats and all the things. And I am going to have proper hen boxes so that I can collect and eat the organic. Oops, I just bumped my computer. The organic eggs. So I'm really excited.
I'm excited for you. That's going to be wonderful.
Yes.
I would not want to be without my chickens.
I know. We love them. Garrett's always been a chicken guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's too funny.
Okay.
What else? You've been working out a few times a week at a new place, and I know you've been enjoying that. Are you going to continue that for the new year?
Oh, yes. And actually I allow myself budget wise to go there 2 days a week. We have a ton of equipment in my basement, so I've never justified spending money outside of my home. But this has been such a great positive thing for me. And, sometimes you don't feel like working out at home. So I know I'm consistently getting it at least 2 nights a week or 2 days a week, because if I pay for it, I'm going. So, yes, I will. And so those of you, I don't know, you may not know a lot about it, but I went to feel better and to feel stronger. I gained a lot of weight last year. And I was looking for my water. I gained a lot of weight last year, but I've been doing this a long time. So I didn't start working out to lose weight. I started working out to feel like myself again, to get my hormones back on track. And so I have been doing since August, something that I know a lot about. I haven't had help. You can Google it, but I've basically been restoring my metabolism. So I've actually been adding calories slowly to my diet for the last 6 months. So I'm not actually going to start doing my fat loss process until probably February, because then I can do it in a healthy way. I think by the time I cut a few calories to have some fat loss, I'll still be eating about 1,600 to 1,700 calories a day, which is so much healthier than trying to get a deficit and just run your guts out. And that actually destroys your metabolism anyway. It's a long journey. And, but I feel so much better. And a lot of it is because I've invested, I just had a bubble if my voice went funny, but I've invested, time into being consistent, and I can tell you, I feel so much better. So
Good.
thank you. Yeah. I'm
Good.
excited though for the fat loss part.
Yeah, I think yes. That's always the fun part. I don't know, the being strong and feeling healthy and all of that is definitely a fun part too. But I feel like sometimes all of those changes are happening and people don't notice until there's the fat loss part.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely feel like I could lug those clothing bags around a lot better than I did, back in July, August. So
Yeah.
but it's your spirit. For me, it's my spirit. It's like there really is this connection with the mind, body, spirit connection. Like, I honestly don't know how, like, for you, your body needs you to be outside doing the things you're doing because you are limited with some of the other things that you can do. If you didn't have your spirit taking in the sunshine and your body getting the vitamin D at the same time, there's just this real connection there. And man, I just don't feel whole if I'm not feeding both. I have to feed my spirit spiritually, but my spirit, as much as my physical body, needs outside, it needs physical exercise. I don't know. Does that make sense? My words
Yeah,
aren't
you and
coming out.
I work the same way in that. I mean, we're very much when we get down and just not feeling great, the best thing is to get out in nature and just reconnect. And it's even better when I can be barefoot and just kind of running around. But I mean, just being able to kind of decompress with my dogs and now my cats. I have several barn cats that have decided that I'm a pretty good gal and they let me pet them. So they get names once I can like pet them. But my cats, my chickens, I mean, the whole deal. Yeah, animals in general, I guess I should just say.
There's just an energy around, and I would say that if those of you are watching and you need a little motivation to get moving, whatever that is, maybe you have a dog and you're not very good at taking it for walks, take it for a walk, or maybe it's just you need their energy. I don't know what it is. I mean, I do know there's definitely a higher power and a gift given to those that spend time in nature. So whether it's
And if
holding an
you're not
animal,
physically able to get out and walk and move around, get in a car and drive. And instead of driving to somewhere, be open to
Yes.
seeing all of the beauty around you. I feel like we just take for granted all of the creation that is around us that is so absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And enjoy the peace and quiet. Sometimes I will just not listen to anything when I go for a walk. And sometimes I need to listen to something, but I'm still breathing in that air. And I just, if anything, if I was going to give any advice to anybody, not that I'm one to give advice, but it would be, sounds silly, but right where I'm sitting are my 2 double back doors. And sometimes in the winter when I can't get out or it's awful, I will just sit and let the sun hit me through the window panes. I mean, nature has to come in. And so try and get some movement, try and find a community. If you're afraid to do it with someone, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. Try a couple of things. If one thing doesn't resonate with you, it's not a bad thing to shift and to pivot and to find something else, but find some movement or find something that gives you comfort, whether it's an animal or, like Rebecca said, a drive. I just think the world is so noisy that we have to find something.
Clear the mechanism, right?
Yes. 100%.
And pause. It's in the pause and that's always been hard for me. It's hard for me to just kind of be still and silent. And I think that's why I've struggled with yoga. I would love to be a yogi, but I have such a hard time like capturing my brain and getting it to stop. And that's one thing I do want to work on this year. Some friends of mine are driving to a town south of us 30 minutes and they're doing yoga once a week. And that is something that I would like to do this next year.
You might like goat yoga, you know.
No, nope, pretty sure not going to be doing goat yoga. However, I'm going to have some yoga sessions on my flower farm this summer, which I'm so excited about.
That's cool. Oh, I want to be there.
Yeah. Yes.
I might have
July.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. We're going to have the gal that's down at the yoga studio south of us is going to come out and do a series. And I haven't for sure decided what we're going to call it, but it's going to be something like Sunset Snip and Savasana, because they can cut their own flower bouquet and do yoga and go home just completely relaxed and restored.
Do you know if she does like vinyasa flow or like I'm not a yogi, but when I was taking women on hikes at the pavilion, what we did after the hike was called vinyasa, and it's just very gentle movements and stretches, but one goes right into the other. And so you're not holding it for so long. It's not really strength training as much as it's mind, body, breath, and then movement. And if I do yoga, that's the kind I want to do.
I'm fairly certain she does that. She's also a real stickler on positioning. So she makes sure that you're in the right position, but she does everything from like chair yoga on up to the big time yoga.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into business now. Well, not business, but let's get down to business here. Go ahead and lay out a few goals. Like, Rebecca and I both have a very similar personality. Well, as I was saying, Rebecca and I have very similar personalities where sometimes we just want to get things done. So let's get down to business. Why don't you tell us what some of your goals are?
Okay, well, I have 4 written down. Well, 5 written down. So, first is continue to connect and serve women throughout the US via this channel, via my styling business. And that just really, that feeds me as much as it is obviously a business. Oh, I wrapped up continue to build our channel, I think, into that one, but that was the number 2, continue to build our channel. And there's kind of some exciting things coming that I'm not going to share right now, but
Okay.
ladies, fun stuff coming. And then third is expansion of my flower business. I've got the greenhouse. I'll be producing flowers early spring for Mother's Day and Easter and all the things, which I'm very excited about. But that kind of leads into 4, and that is an assistant. So I love everything that I'm doing, but so much time is thrown different directions. I feel like I'm not able to do the follow-up and just the care of my clients that I would like to be doing. And so having an assistant to help me do all of those finer points of the business and computer work, because let's be real, I am not a fan of computer work. So that's another one. And then the 5th one is in relation to health, and that is prioritizing workout time. And I wrote down prioritize workout time. And then I looked at that and I went, well, that's pretty vague and generic. What exactly does that mean? And I added at least 30 minutes a day. And so obviously there's going to be days where I want to have that longer. When I'm walking with the friend that I walk with, that's usually an hour. So it's kind of going to ebb and flow, but making that a priority 7 days a week, 30 minutes a day or more, that feels good to me. And like, it's a stretch beyond what I have been doing. I mean, so here's the thing. I'm moving and going all day long, but to actually be purposeful about working out, not so much.
So I have a thought for you, because you helped me on my word of the year last year. So as you're talking about movement and that kind of thing, I think to make it more attainable, because you are moving so much, like you're getting your steps in, you could dedicate 2 days a week to doing, I know you used to like cable work or like anything, because anything with your core and back, because that's where you have all your issues. You could streamline it down and say, I need to hit 2 days a week where I am actually strengthening my core and back somehow, whether it's through bands, whether it's through yoga, whatever it is, but make it just not movement, but make it intentional to strength of the areas that you need that physical strength.
Yeah. I should probably just, I like the 2 days a week, but I'll probably just get back into doing my physical therapy every single day, which I mean, it's 15 to 20 minutes every single day, but
well, you know, I've dedicated 2 days a week to going to a gym. I still do things like the rest of the week.
Right.
But I know that dedicated 2 days, and I do it either Monday and Thursday. There you go. Monday and Thursday, or sometimes I have to do Monday, Friday. But those 2 days leave me some time in between to make wiggle room of what can I do myself today? But I know on Mondays and Thursdays, I'm either going to work my upper body or my lower body. And so that's kind of the idea for you, is maybe just dedicate at least 2 days where you know you're hitting those target muscles that are going to help strengthen your back after your accident.
Absolutely. And I have a sauna that I need to dedicate sitting into my sauna for at least during the winter time here. It's been crazy how it just helps with the cold weather.
Yeah, I know. Cold weather. It's I think about the poor animals and I'm like, how? I mean, thank goodness Heavenly Father created them better than us, because it's just brutal sometimes. But well, you are much more ambitious with your goals than I am, because mine are pretty much 3. It's like, I always picture a chair. And so if you've got 3 legs, it can balance. And I feel like that is a good mix for me. So I try and do a personal, a family, and a business. And so my personal is just to continue to dedicate time to my husband and I and our relationship, whether that means and he and I have to define that together for this next year. In my mind, it's sitting down once a week and really talking about how our week went, or when we are having, just some real communication time, some real just one-on-one time. We both want to go a few places together. So that may be determined. I'm going to put a TBD on that, but that is for sure the most important leg, because I have learned that if we're not happy, our kids aren't happy. And so my kids get encumbered in that leg.
Well, I think you should come to Kansas on your first voyage.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Your husband and my husband would really have a lot to talk about.
They would. And my husband would love Kevin. Okay. My second leg, I've got to keep it on the personal side. Usually I would do business before anything, and I'm really trying to switch my priorities.
Good for you. Good for you.
So it's the personal one, and that is to continue with things that breathe air into my lungs. So it's going to continue with the exercising. I really, really want to be involved with women outside of Cabby. So I'm looking into a few things. I haven't kind of set my finger on that, but I do miss taking women hiking and just spending some quality time with them. So I would really, by the end, I'm giving myself to the end of the year. Well, actually, maybe till fall, because that's when I would start taking people hiking again. But I'm really wanting to do something that not only puts air into my lungs, but could then also put air into women's lungs.
Yeah.
And then
And it doesn't have to be an either or, it can be a both and. That's been the fun thing.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, it would put air into my lungs, but it's a greater than that idea. Like, I want to give back to women. I feel like I've gained so much from women, which takes me to then my business. It always used to just be about, like, I've got to book this many shows and do this much because financially I need it. So the numbers had to be there. Of course, the relationships were in the forefront. So saying that, I don't want to take away from the women that have supported me and loved me, but I really want to garner, like you said, give more quality time, even if that means less shows, and make it more quality. I want to give myself to my Cabby women. I want to be more available. Now, that being said, I'm still going to block out my calendar. I'm a stickler on that. But when I say be available, I mean be more available from inside out, like as a whole. I want to make sure that they're served well, that I'm texting them to check on them, because these women truly are my friends. They have impacted my life so much. And on the note of an assistant, I want to make sure that the majority of my shows are held on a Thursday, so that I can continue to mentor Breely and take her on, my shows, and have this incredible assistant that is learning from the most incredible women. And so I'm really going to urge my clients to book Thursdays first and book those out, and then fill in the extra needed time that I need for extra shows after that. So I just really want to involve family kind of in all three of my goals, I guess, but it feels like I'm renewing. So
Sounds like a renewal to me.
yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, anything else you want to share on the goals or word of the year realm?
I just think for those of you listening or watching, if you haven't ever picked a word of the year, because it was a new idea for me probably 5 or 6 years ago. I had never done it. And there's a lot of women that I talk to that don't. Give it a try. Put some thought and some prayer into it. It's amazing how it creates focus in your life. And, it's also amazing how it turns out. If you believe in manifesting, if you believe in creating your own reality and making choices, I think that we on a conscious level choose happiness, good health, those things, or we don't. And so I think picking a word of the year really kind of helps guide that focus. Even when you're down in the dumps, if you have a word that you can cling to, it helps you then cling to the Lord. It helps you cling to your family. It just has been such a wonderful thing that I was introduced to years ago by other amazing women. And I'm so glad that Rebecca and I have continued this. It's just awesome. I mean, I think it's just something that if you don't do anything else, if you're not one that likes to write goals down, if you're not one that wants to be set in your ways, or it gets too overwhelming for you, picking a word is easy. It's hard to find it sometimes. I really think you have to settle on the right one. But once you do, it's like, it just feels good,
Yeah. Well, and it brings the 30 things that you've got rolling around in your brain, or the 30 goals that you have, into one thing. And so everything just kind of revolves around that one intention, instead of having so many different things that you can feel a little bit overwhelmed sometimes.
Well, and if it works for you, you will know. I mean, we were taught this in English class, right? When you're creating a sentence, does this word fit in the sentence? So for me, when I think about the word of the year, I think about my goals and what I want, how I want to be, and does renew fit that? So that's what you're saying is, for you, it's going to be flourish. Can I flourish in all those 5 goals that you listed, right? For me, it's, will doing this help renew? Like, will I feel, if I'm out hiking with women, will I feel renewed? If I'm doing this with my business, is that going to make renew come to the forefront? And that's kind of how I land on my words. It has to fit all aspects of my life. And it's been a journey.
Litmus test.
Yes, it is. But, not all tests are bad.
Yes.
So, well, I guess I will wrap us up this time. And we just want to thank you for tuning in with us each and every week. We hope that 2023 is going to be full of flourishing and renewing beautiful moments in your life. And we can't wait to be there right beside you. So if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and ring that bell. We also have been doing this for 3+ years now. So our playlists, you can go back and binge all you want. On another note, we have some surprises coming up. So stay tuned, because we are working on expanding and doing some really, really incredible things together. And we cannot wait to bring you in the mix. Also, we get to be together in January, like in a week, right? A week.
Yes.
So we get to see each other. So there's going to be some behind the scenes, some pictures of us together again. And it's been so long since we've been able to hug and see each other and just catch up on all the things. And we can't wait to pull you into that. So if you are excited about that, hit the like button and send us a comment, and we cannot wait. Also, give us some ideas. What do you want us to talk about? What do you want us to share? What clothes are you excited to see? And that being said, have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining our Amplified Life.